So today's webinar is First to Know, Mastering the New General Release Features. One thing I do want to say about this right now, the general release is currently in beta, I believe. So in theory, you guys will be getting this general release over the course of the next couple of weeks. We had some bugs and kinks we needed to work out, and so it delayed the process a little bit. So keep in mind, these general releases are not available yet. However, they should be available to you guys within the next couple of weeks. Now, aside from being able to go back to this webinar later and listen to it, all of these are also currently available for you to read up on and become familiar with in our Features and Fixes box in Paladin, which I will be showing you during the webinar as well. The technical level of this is fairly easy. I'm going to be able to walk through and I'm going to explain some key general release features that we have. These are not all of them, however, these are the ones that I feel are pretty important for both pharmacy and hardware to know about. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about, and here's the highlights. Okay, as you can see, there are several that we're going to go through. Number one, we're going to help you get the help that you need within the new Paladin Help Portal. It's kind of all in one, and I'm going to show you the neat little tricks in there. You can now access the Paladin Store directly from point of sale, which is a cool little feature. It's going to save you guys a lot of time and a lot of hassle. Another one is we're going to choose how to handle deleted items from the Invoice and Quote module. Before it was just one default thing. Now we have several to choose from. I'll show you how to set that up as well as what it looks like inside Paladin with a demo. Create pending purchase orders with the purchase order importer. You can now download Oracle EDI files from Paladin. So for those of you that have Oracle, you currently have a little icon on your desktop. That essentially will go away with this new general release, and it's a one-stop shop, so to speak, inside Paladin. For our pharmacies, we have a couple of different features. One of them is adding a bag item or RX item to an invoice with one scan. So I'll show you and explain how that's going to work. Classifying customers with customer types. This can be used for both pharmacy and hardware, and I'll explain. And then you can organize customers' purchases by project, which is pretty cool as well. All right, so going into it, getting the help that you need in the Paladin Help Portal. Okay, all of your help resources are in one website now, instead of kind of going to a couple of different ones. Now, when I say this is a one-stop shop, what I mean by that is that you can get step-by-step instructions right in the knowledge base. You can watch all of these webinars. If you ever need to go back, you can also see and sign up for next week's webinar. I'm in charge of updating all that, so that'll also be there as well, and it'll take you directly to the registration page. You can watch training videos. You can sign in to create and monitor your cases, or give remote access when a tech calls you and says, hey, send me a remote connection. You're going to be able to do that from this screen as well. And you access it through the help menu in Paladin. Now also, you can put it in your browser, as you can see here, the http://portal.paladinpos.com. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to demo real quick so you can see inside Paladin here. Give me one sec here. I've got to switch things over. All right, so now you guys should be able to see Paladin. Okay, so up here when I'm talking about the help screen, this is what I'm talking about up here. You go to help. Excuse me. And then here you've got your knowledge base, your Paladin webinars, things like that. So you click on any one of those, and what it's going to do, it's going to automatically connect it just like this. It's going to open it in your browser. So it's going to be a completely new page. And then here, this is the Paladin Help Portal. So now I'm logged in, so I have a couple of things on here that you guys will not have. For example, this internal resources, this will not be here for you. This is just for us. But what you're going to have here, here's your knowledge base, right? Because I clicked on knowledge base. And then here, you've got access to your webinars. Okay, you can register for the next one. In this case, it's the one that's going on right now. You've also got your past webinars here. You can simply hit play, and you'll be able to watch all of these past webinars. Any new features that are going out, Paladin videos, my cases, which is going to be really important for you guys. Now, I currently don't have any. But as you can see, okay, it's going to show here any cases that you may have. You can also search your cases. So if you can't remember the case number, but you know something in the title, you can go ahead and do that as well. Here, you can go ahead and create a case. And then here, if Paladin Store has instructed you to get remote access, you go ahead and click this button. It's going to send a request over to our tech team. Also here, because we do still value your guys' opinion and we still want to know, the reason that we have all these features and the reason Paladin has grown as much as it has is because of you guys and because of the features that you guys request. So here, you select this button and you can suggest a new feature, and it's going to be sent to our development team, and then we're going to look it over and go ahead and build that feature for you guys. All right, I'm going ahead and close this down here. So that's kind of inside Paladin real quick. We're going to switch back over to the PowerPoint here. Okay. So that's a quick little demo of that. Now, the same thing, accessing the Paladin Store. This one's pretty quick. The Paladin Store itself has not changed, but the cool thing about it is that you're able to access it again through Paladin Point of Sale. So when we switch back over to Paladin here, again, accessing it from the Help menu here, just like in the screenshot of the PowerPoint there, we go to Help and Paladin Store. Now, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to automatically open in a new browser, and here you go. It's the Paladin Store, just like you guys know it. You can sign in up here. You can also get to a different portal, okay? But here, you can do all of your purchases, and it's going to make it that much easier because then you don't have to go into a browser and type in store.paladinpos.com. You are still welcome to do that by all means, but it makes it easier to where you can just go up inside Paladin Point of Sale. You're already there, and you know you need receipt paper right then and there. So there you go. You go up to Help, Paladin Store, and boom, it automatically opens it for you, which is great. All right, now switching back over again here. All right, now this one is pretty cool, actually. What we want to do here is we want to choose how to handle deleted items in the Invoice and Quote module, and I'm going to show you how to set that up as well. So traditionally, the way that it's been done is when an item has been deleted or essentially become inactive, right? Inactive and deleted are the same thing as far as inventory part numbers go inside Paladin. Now, traditionally what's happened is if you've hit that delete button on an inventory item and you go to bring it up inside Invoice and Quote, it says part number not found. And then that's it. And then you got to figure out why, and you got to do some research, which can be a little bit time consuming. So now we have these options, these three options that are going to be available: auto restore, prompt for restore, or part number not found, which is the traditional default. I'm going to go ahead and show you that inside Paladin and where and how to set that up. Now again, because you guys don't have these quite yet, it will be good for you to go back and listen to these once you guys do get them. That way you can remember how to set all these up and also check out the features and fixes box during that time. So we're going to switch back over to Paladin here. So how to set this up? We're going to go to File, Setup, and then under Invoice Store, which is on the very far right, down here on the bottom it says Deleted Part Behavior. And these are the three options: auto restore, prompt for restore, and part number not found. I have it set for prompt for restore so I can show you what it looks like. So once you have that set up, let's say you go to ring up a part, okay, and it has been set into the inactive status. So in this case, I did my test part number. This is what it's going to look like. You're about to restore this part and make it active. Click Restore to confirm. And it's going to tell you the price and everything else to make sure that it's active. It's also going to tell you what each button is going to do, whether you want to hit F8 and restore it or hit Cancel, and what exactly that's going to do. So in this case, yes, I do want to sell this. Restore, there you go. It's completely restored. It is now permanently back into your active inventory until you tell Paladin otherwise. So pretty simple. Okay, switching back over again. Sorry about all the switching, guys. All right, on to the next slide here. Okay, creating pending purchase orders with the purchase order importer. This one I will not demo, as I don't have a list set up like an outside order would, but we can talk about the slide and really talk about the advantages to using this. So what it's going to do, it's going to import a list of items that automatically creates a pending purchase order, one for each supplier, for the items in your active inventory. So let's say you have a list from House Hassan because you went to a show. And you ordered a whole bunch of stuff, but your primary is Oracle, so you don't have House Hassan EDI set up. But you all of a sudden have this huge list of things that you need to put into a purchase order. Well, instead of going through one by one and entering in these 50 items, you can import this list, which you'll already have an electronic version of it from the show, import it in. It's going to automatically make that purchase order for you. So it's really, really going to help you with the time-consuming task of making those purchase orders, and it's going to be done in one quick thing. Okay. So for example, like I was saying, receiving items from a show, purchase order, manufacturer special promotion. As you guys know, a lot of manufacturers have these different special promos to get you to buy more of their product. Well, in that case, you usually have to buy bulk. So what's going to happen is then that makes a lot of tedious stuff for you guys, which no one wants to ever want to take that much time. So this is really going to help you as far as that goes. And here's a little mini screenshot of kind of what it would look like. Okay, you've got your Excel thing here. Going to be in a tab delimited file, just like your inventory imports and exports that we do, Excel and then tab delimited to go in and out of Paladin. It's going to be that same concept. So here, as you can see, you've got your part number, supplier, quantity, cost, your headers, just like you would inventory, your standard inventory import and export. Those headers are going to be the identifiers in Paladin to tell them which way to go. And so then we're going to go ahead and import this in. It's going to say created two, in this case, created two pending purchase orders. There happens to be two different suppliers for this example. That's going to be a pretty neat feature. Now, if you have more questions about this and how to exactly use it once it does come out, absolutely call Paladin support, and they'll be able to walk you through this new importer with ease. And again, you can also check back on the features and fixes box and get that going for you. Okay, this one, downloading Oracle EDI files in Paladin. Now, again, I have the database that I'm using, I can't actually send an order. So right here, it's a very small screenshot, but I can show you inside Paladin as well to get a bigger idea. So what's going to happen is, as I started saying, for you Oracle customers out there, right now the way it sits is there is a little blue icon on your desktop with a question mark that says Receive Oracle Files. You double click on that, little black box pops up, receive stuff, and then you go inside Paladin, and then you have to import them in. So, excuse me. Once you get that done, then you go ahead and process your EDI files. Well, inside Paladin, I'll show you so you've got a better screen here. Go ahead and open Paladin. Okay, so once you're in inventory, EDI, right here is where it's going to pop up. It says EDI maintenance processing. Okay, what it's going to do, it's going to show you, or it's going to ask you what supplier you want to use. You're going to click on Oracle, and then there is where you go ahead and receive your files, and then you process them. So it's now all done from this window right here, this Process EDI Files window, instead of having to go outside of Paladin, then back in, and so on and so forth. Again, really streamlining the process and making sure that it's all done, you know, quickly, efficiently, all within one box. All right, switching back to the other screen again. Okay, now this one, adding a bag of RX items to an invoice with one scan bag checkout. So it's just like this picture is. Okay, what's going to happen? Now this part is really important for you pharmacies that are listening out there. Your pharmacy system, so whether you have PK, CompuSolve, SuiteRx, whoever you have, they need to have this feature enabled and or built. So this is something that Paladin can be integrated with. However, we need the specs from the company. So you need to call them, or you can call us and we'll call them for you, regardless, okay, and explain that you need that feature enabled and or they need to write to this feature, and then Paladin specs will match it. So that's how this works, since we have integration with the pharmacy company, okay, and with the pharmacy systems out there, but they will work with all the pharmacy systems. So essentially what's going to happen is they can make, this pharmacy system is going to print out a barcode. You put that one barcode on the bag, and it's going to ring up individually all of the scripts for that one person. So the reason this was made is in Florida, I believe, the state of Florida, no one can actually scan and check out scripts except for a technician, or excuse me, except for a pharmacist. So the way around this is to be able to scan the bag to be able to legally do this. See, so it's going to save people some time as well. So again, contact your pharmacist, or excuse me, your pharmacy system, and have them enable this bag checkout feature and or write to it, and then they'll be able to get this done for you. All right, classifying customers with customer types. This part is really, really cool. So let's say, for like example, I'll show you inside Paladin, but this screenshot here, customer John Smith, right? Well, we need to know that he's a contractor. Well, why would we need to know he's a contractor? Well, for tax purposes, for jobs, for any of that kind of stuff. That way you can keep track of, okay, well, I've got all these contractors that are buying stuff from me, or I have all these healthcare people, or these farm and agriculture people, or these homeowners, so on and so forth, or property management, as you can see, restaurant, any of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to demo it inside Paladin here to go ahead and show you how to get this started here for these customer types. So what you're first going to want to do is go to File, Setup. There's a Customer Type tab about middle of the screen, and you're going to need to create these customer types. Now, I went ahead and created all of these ones just so we have them, okay? But you'll need to go in there. You'll need to hit New, something like this, just like you would a sales list. You hit Save, and then you're going to close that. Now, over here in the customer module, let's say customer number 4, all gas, over here in the electric tab is where this customer type is going to be. So down here at the bottom, electric tab down here at the bottom, customer type, and then you go ahead and assign them a customer type. So they happen to be a contractor or a plumber or something of that sort. Hit Save, and then there you go. And then you'll be able to reference it later on the customer type that they are. So that part is pretty cool. Okay, we're going to go ahead and switch back over. All right, and then organizing customer purchases by project. So this is the feature that can be used for both hardware and pharmacy. Now, the reason being for this, right, projects can be set jobs. So, you know, this project was for hardware, let's say the house on 5th Street, right, things like that, or school project, or whatever you guys want to call them. You can then assign invoices. You can also look up transactions and all of the history, and you can organize it by project. So instead of ABC hardware coming into your store and you're looking through a month's worth of transactions that technically have 5 different projects on them, if Mr. Smith comes in and says, I need to have all of the invoices for Elm Elementary, then you can go ahead and organize that and switch it out and show you. Okay, so it's really, really cool. Now, how this works for pharmacies is, you know, a lot of times scripts get billed under doctors, and then it has to get billed out. The patients, you know, they get billed under one doctor, and then it has to get billed out to insurance. Well, you can put under one doctor, the projects can be the clients. So if this one doctor has 5 different patients that come in, you can turn around and break it down by projects, which is pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and demo it for you real quick here. All right, so when we're in the Customer tab down here, Projects and Authorized Signers. Okay, and then here, there we go. We've got some new, you can add a new project or you can currently look at these ones. And you can add as many projects as you want. And then you can turn around and ring them up. So let's say, get that out of the way. So let's go ahead and say this is, you need to put this under a specific project. You can do this in the checkout screen. So we're going to go to checkout. Now, this can be done via credit card, cash, however you want to do it. So let's go ahead and say cash, and hopefully my system works for me today. It didn't. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look. Sorry about that, guys. Let's make sure it's active. Apologize for the delay here. Here, let's go ahead and run this. So, as I was saying, you can switch things out by project. You can sort them by project, okay? And I have one sorted already, so I'll show you real quick. So, sales analysis, what I need to know, transaction report. It was just the other day, so let's go back to last week. And then by here, in keyword search, you can go active project, and we're going to run that report. And then transactions are going to show up that are under that project. So it's going to really help when it comes down to it if people need to see how much money they've spent per project or per job. Okay. You can also look at inactive ones as well when you set them to inactive. Let's say it's completed, so you don't need it in the screen anymore. You can go, or on their account, you can go ahead and set them to inactive at that point. You can go ahead and switch back over here. All right. Okay, so that's essentially all that I have. It's a lot of information, and it was a little jumbled, but there's a lot of information there to take in. So it's definitely something that you guys can go back and look at the future. And then again, in that features and fixes box, it also shows step-by-step on how to set up these features, how to properly use them. And this is, you know, this will be forever live, so you can always play and pause and all that kind of thing. So at this point, are there any questions about any of this stuff?
No questions at this time.
Perfect. All right. Well, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to contact support. Okay, give us a call or email us. And until next time, we will see you guys next week.